Hello and welcome. So in the last session, we have seen how to create a view of type dimension, and we created a store dimension. In this session, we are going to create another graphical view of type fact, and then based on this fact type view, we can create analytical model. You remember only views of type fact can be used for creating analytical model. So let's jump into the system and create a view. Go to data builder. I am inside my views folder. So I'm going to create new graphical view. Let's minimize the left side so that we'll have more space. Let's go inside under the repository. I'll go inside my tables. So I'm going to create a view of type fact. So let's drag sales transaction table. And as you already know, it's going to give one output node. If you want to see the details, just click on the view. If you are not getting, click on the details so that you will be able to get the details or properties of the output node. Let's click. Okay, now it's good. Okay, now let's click on the output node and you can go and see the properties. Let's give a name to our view. So let me go back to my. I'm going to name this view as sales view fact. And I'll do my technical name as same. And semantic uses, this time I'll select as fact. If you see, when I selected fact, I am getting an option here, create analytical model. So once you are done with the view creation, you can directly create analytical model from here. Whereas in the last section, we have seen dimension. For it, there is no option because you can only create analytical model on top of a like fact with not dimension. So let's select fact. Let's go down. You see, when we create a table, if we select semantic type as fact, you have to give attributes and measure. Similarly, when you are creating view of type fact, you have to give attributes and measure. But here, all my columns from the source table are coming under attribute. But we know profit, discount, cost, revenue, these are like measures. So you can move them one by one by dragging, or you can move all at a time. Let's by holding the control. Profit, discount. Select all four of the measures and drag them under measures. Okay. Now we have our attributes and measures. Like if for attributes and measures on the right side, you'll have three dots. If you click that option, you can, will get multiple options. Suppose if you want to change that to measure, here it is anyway dimension, that's why it's not giving option. Later, like we drag all the measures to here, right? You can also do that by changing to measure and semantic type, what type of information this gives, and remove as key, add association, different options are there. Similarly for measures, you can change that to attribute or change the aggregation type. Aggregation types like sum, count, mean, max, none, different options are there. Now I'm fine with my measures and attributes. Let's go down. Again, we have input parameters. Suppose if you want to create some input parameters for this, you can do that back from here. Data persistence. Again, if you want to store the data, you can do that by using this. And association. If you remember for my sales transaction, if I click on sales transaction source, I have association. Now I'm creating the view using the sales transaction table. So either I can create association individually or copy from the source. because for me, source is sales transaction table. I can copy directly from there. So how do I copy? Just click on this drop down beside the plus. You'll have option create association, text association, copy from source. Let's click on copy from source and copy from there directly. So it shows me, okay, what are the associations for my source? I have store ID, product, sales manager, transaction. Let's select product ID, sales manager, and transaction date. Store ID I'm not selecting because if you remember, we created a dimension view of type dimension view store. In that we added one calculated column where we have geographical location, store location. So I'm going to associate the dimension instead of my table here. So let's select these three and click on create. Now I want to create one more association using store dimension. Let's go inside our data sphere folder. I want to go into views. Here I have my dimensions. I'm going to associate this. Select this. Okay. Just check the mapping is fine. And if I want to go back to this is my view. You can also check for other associations. Mapping is done already. Go back to view. Okay. Now data access controls. Again, this is security related concept. We will see one session how to use this data access controls. And again, you can define some business purpose for this view and dependent objects. If it is used in any of the objects, you can see them. Okay, for now, I'm okay with my graphical view. I can see the data in the data viewer. So here you can see the data. Let's save this view. Okay, view is now saved. Let's deploy it. Now my sales view of type fact is completed. Now I want to create an analytical model, which I'm going to consume in SAP Analytics Cloud, and we're going to build some reports. For creating an analytical model, either I can directly create from here, or we can also go back to data builder from there also. Let's do that from the data builder. Let's go back. Come to our main folder. Let's create a new folder for analytical model. I'm going to name it as models. Go inside models. Click on new analytical model. Okay. Now go to our data sphere folder. Go to views. Here I have my sales fact view. Drag that. Add all attributes to analytical model. add all measures to analytical model. Select these are the properties to be copied. So I want to select all the associations. Now you see this is how analytical model looks like. Okay, here you can click and see the properties of this sales fact view. Okay, these are the analytical model properties. Okay, sales fact view. The source is sales fact view. You can see, and how many measures are there? 4 we have, and associated dimensions. We already associated our view for sales manager ID, transaction date, product ID, and store dimension that you can see here. And these are the attributes which we have. There are no input parameters. Okay, now this is how we are going to create a sales analytical model. You can check different options by clicking on each, properties. Now let's save this analytical model. We're going to name this as sales analytical model. Let's save this and apply this. You can click on data preview to see the data. Just wait some time. I think it is still deploying. Okay, let's see the model preview here. You see the data is already there in the this is the analytical model preview. Here, like suppose if you remember, one of our business requirement is to see the top 10 revenue generating products. So what we can do is we can select profit so that you see the profit in columns. Let's add product ID to the rows. So you can see here the product ID and the profit. So you can visualize these details in the data sphere itself. Okay. And later you can consume this and build your reports in SSC. But if you want to, check the details here, you can do that. Like suppose if I want to add revenue also, and suppose if I want to see my sales revenue per store, let's drag this here. So you can give your in the preview you can see you can do all the visualizations here, like in the table format. We have different option. Pause refresh. Basically, if you don't want to refresh when you drag it, suppose I'll remove this and I'll add transaction. I want to add transaction date. You see, it's not refreshed because we paused the refresh. So just click on the refresh. Now it's gonna refresh. This is the option, and you have option to export this to Excel or CS. Okay. Now go back to our model. Uh, I, I think you understand how to create a model from the view of type fact in this session. In the next session, what we're going to do is we will create a connection between SAC and DataSphere, and we're going to consume this analytical model in SAC, and we're going to build some reports. Thank you, and we will see you in the next session.